Imagine you walk into your favorite coffee shop and you say, "I'd like something warm, not too sweet, and good for a rainy day." One approach is like an agentic system. The barista starts asking, "Do you want dairy? What size? What temperature? Tea or coffee?" It's thorough, but can feel like answering a questionnaire just to get a single drink. Now, imagine an LLM approach. The barista says, "Sounds like you like a chai latte. Warm, cozy, and perfect for a rainy day." They understood your intent without making you spell out every single detail. We sometimes build these elaborate agents, multi-step planners, tool users, autonomous systems, when a simple LLM prompt would have done the job faster and cleaner. Sometimes simple is better. In the next few minutes, I'll cover when to use a single LLM instead of building an agent. All right, now let's talk a little bit more about large language models and agents. So a large language model, otherwise known as an LLM, like GPT-4, is great at answering questions, generating text, and summarizing or translating all in one go, and you would ask and it answers. An agent, on the other hand, it's like a mini AI assistant that can plan, it can reason, and it can take multiple steps. It might search the web, it might run code, and it might interact with tools all on its own. Agents typically use LLMs under the hood, but add planning, tool use, and autonomy. Now let's talk about when to use an LLM and when you might want to use an agent. LLMs are perfect when your task is single step. So if you need a quick answer or a one-off task, just use an LLM. When your task is low complexity, so you don't have that need for planning or external tools. Speed. When speed matters, you want to use that LLM when you want the fast results without overhead. Some examples for large language models might be writing an email, summarizing a document, translating text, or generating ideas. Now, agents, they shine when things get more complex. So, we're talking about multi-step reasoning, tasks that require planning or decision making, when you need to use either one tool or an array of tools like APIs, databases, or external systems, and when more autonomy is required. So when you want that system to actually decide what steps to take and in what order, kind of like a mini project manager, that's when you want to go to use an agent. Now, some examples of agents might be automating workflows, data analysis, research assistance, or automated assistant systems, or even conversational agents. All right, now let's take a look at some examples on when we should use an LLM and when we should use an agent. All right, scenario 1, writing a blog post. Let's use an LLM. Simple. Scenario 2, researching competitors, compiling data, and emailing a report. We're going to want to use an agent, right? Multi-step workflow. Scenario 3, generating code snippets. We're going to want to use an LLM, right? Simple question and answer, that speed of generation of a code snippet to do one specific task. Scenario 4, debugging code, testing it, and deploying it to GitHub. That would be an agent, right? Multi-step process to complete a task, might include some tool calls. All right, so some very specific examples, and I'll give you an LLM use case and an agent. So let's first talk about financial forecasting. So if we wanted to use an LLM or an LLM use case, we might ask a simple question like performance trends in a data set or model output. So what did, this model give us for this result? So we're going to ask a very simple question about our data. So in this case, the LLM might summarize trends and provide insights on that trend. Now for an AI agent use case, let's say we want to do a few different steps, like we want to pull data, we want to run a model, we want to generate a specific chart, and that chart might change based on the data that's pulled, and then we want to email it. So we want to email it to an executive or a client. So this is actually an orchestration process, right? So we're going to use an agent to work through that process, that multi-step, and then to connect to different tools along the way. All right, one more use case. Let's talk about incident response. And then this would be specifically for an IT ticket. So a good LLM use case might be asking, what does this error code mean? So we might want to know a very specific question. Could be a general question too, right? That LLM is just going to give us that simple response. Now for an AI agent use case, we might want to do something more complex, like detecting an error and actually identifying, right, why that error occurred. We're going to resolve the error. And we're going to notify an ops team. And maybe even at the end, we want to actually generate a report. So many more steps in this process, more complexity, potentially calling of tools, good use case for an agent. So next time you're building with AI, ask, do I really need an agent or will a simple LLM do? And remember, simple is powerful.